Thank you, Susan, for the intro. I'm actually a junior. Don't want to end up too soon. So I'm having got one more year left. But I'm going to talk to you about the Private Enterprise Summer. And I think, as you can tell from everyone you've heard, we've got more to say than we have time to say it. So if you have any questions, talk with any of us about this afterwards. The basics of the Private Enterprise Summer. It's usually your fourth summer, but it can be your third. You can do 2 of them if you want to forego international research. The only parameter that you have during this summer is that you must find an internship with a for-profit company. It can be anywhere in the world. You can be doing just about anything with those companies. And so you can see your choices are very broad. You'll be working with them for 10 to 12 weeks. My internship was with the Wall Street Journal, and I got this internship through an alumnus, through the MC network. He was on campus. Alan Murray is an executive editor at the Wall Street Journal. He came up and said, I think you should work for me this summer at the Wall Street Journal, and you don't really say no when someone says something like that to you. I was working and living in Manhattan for 12 weeks. The things that happen to you when you're at the Wall Street Journal, when you're doing the kinds of things you get to do on these summers, are really unbelievable. In my first week, on my 3rd day there, I came in and my editor, I was doing video and social media work for the journal, so I was going on shoots, producing stories. In my first week there, my editor came up and said, we've got a cool project, do you want to do it? And I said, sure, what's it on? He said, well, we want you to walk down 5th Avenue with Paris Hilton and interview her about her perfume line. So I said yes, that would be cool. And along with a Wall Street Journal reporter, I was filming Paris Hilton and trying to keep the paparazzi and all these people speaking Spanish from getting her autograph. I didn't really know New York City, and I led us into Central Park and we got lost in there, but that was all very exciting. The next day, I was working on a video, and I got a warning that the reporter I was working with could be a little bit of a jackass sometimes. So I was like, okay, that's good. So I'm working on this thing, and we're running up on our deadline, and I needed him to record a voiceover for me. He was in Chicago, I was in New York. He sends me this long page that he's supposed to read in like 3 minutes, and I didn't have time to deal with this, so I just started deleting sentences. I was changing order. He used words like therein and moreover that you just don't say when you're doing a voiceover. And he does it, sends it back. We finished the video in time. He was great to work with. And as I'm walking out, I noticed there's Pulitzer Prizes hanging on the wall near my desk, and I said, I should probably know who's won a Pulitzer around here. And the guy whose work I had just cut in half had won a Pulitzer about 3 years ago. And I would have liked to have known that before I sent those edits. And that was all the first week. Oh, I went home that night and went on WSJ.com to see that the video had uploaded correctly, and it was on the front page of the website. So that was all in my first week. That had been a summer-long goal, and I was like, what am I going to do now? The rest of the summer, these experiences kept happening. I had a beer with the CEO of Anheuser-Busch, and I may or may not have been 21. I went to a factory that made fabric flowers, and the photographer didn't show up, so I took some pictures just because I thought it was a really cool factory. I was doing a video, and I came back, and the editor said, we don't have any pictures. Did you happen to take any? I said, I did, and a couple days later, I had 5 of my photos in the Wall Street Journal, the biggest newspaper in the country. I found myself in a garbage pit with paintballs being shot at me at Coney Island. There's a guy whose job it is to get shot with paintballs, and you could tell I was doing hard news this summer too. I was on the top of #1 Times Square, 22 stories above Times Square, filming inside the New Year's Eve ball because that was another assignment that I received. I had the Wall Street Journal Facebook account on my phone and was posting to it like in the subway. Well, you can't post in the subway, but posting to it as I was walking down the street, and that was a surreal experience. The thing that's amazing about all of these summers, whether they're any of the ones you've heard about, is that you're really limited only by your ability. I had the Wall Street Journal behind me. When you call someone, you say, my name's Jarrard Cole, I'm a reporter at the Wall Street Journal, people will say, yes, I would love to talk with you. And for someone like me who likes to share stories, who likes to do video, there's not a better opportunity than that. I think I really realized this when I was working on a video that the editor-in-chief had done part of the interview for, and he wanted to see the video before it went out. And he was leaving, I think, to go to Russia, so I had to show it to him before it was finished. and he came to my desk to watch it. And I don't know if he'd ever been in our little video corner of the paper before, but he sits down and he's watching the video, and everyone kind of started stepping away from my desk at that point. They all needed to get coffee or something. So by the time he finished the video, it was me, the editor-in-chief, and no one within 30 feet. And he looked at me and he said, "I don't think we should make any changes. You should just post this on the site as it is." And I realized then that whatever I wanted to do, I could have done it that summer. And if I wanted to pitch a story, I had the opportunity to do that. And there's not a better position to be in than that. After I came back, or at the end of the summer, I was surprised with a job offer, which is a really cool thing to have before you even started your junior year. But I made a lot of friends at the paper, and I wanted to stay in touch with them. I wanted to keep doing those things. It's an addictive place to work. So I applied for discovery funding to go back to the paper for their election night coverage this past November. And I was able to fly up for less than 24 hours and work on their webcast, stay up till 2 in the morning, meet Ariana Huffington, work with the editor-in-chief again, work with the executive editor of the Washington Bureau. And then in January, I was able to do it all again with my friend Eliza. We went to cover the State of the Union for the Wall Street Journal in New York. So the Discovery Fund allowed me to take what was this fantasy world where famous people walk in and you get to ask them annoying questions and turn it into a real world that I've been able to continue to keep up with. And so if you have any project you've been dreaming of since you were 3 years old, if you find something in college that's a new, amazing thing to research, you will have the ability to mold your summer to pursue that. And that's an opportunity that I can't imagine existing anywhere else.